fangs like this, which is what he did the first time I saw him, the day I moved in. I worried about that animal the very first minute I met him. I mean, I don't do too well with animals like St. Francis has birds hanging off him all the time, but what I mean to say is, animals are indifferent to me, like people, most of the time. But this dog was not indifferent. From the very beginning, he'd snarl and go over me to get one of my legs, but I always got away. It's not like he was rabid, you know, he was sort of a stumbly dog, but he wasn't half-assed either. It was a good stumbly grunt, but I always got away. Oh, he got a piece of my trouser. Look here, where it's ended, you can see right here. Yeah, he got that the second day I lived there. But I kicked free and ran upstairs, and I got away with it. Now, let's see. This went on for about a week. Whenever I went out, but never when I came back in. That's funny, or that was funny. I could have packed up and lived on the street for all the dog care. Well, I thought about it one day up in my room after one of the times I bolted up the stairs, and I made up my mind. I decided, first, I'll kill the dog with kindness. If that doesn't work, I'll just kill him. Don't react here, just listen. So, the next day, I went out and bought a bag of hamburgers, medium rare, no ketchup, no onion, and on my way home, I threw away all the rolls and kept just the meat. When I got back to the rooming house, the dog was waiting for me. I half opened the door that led into the entrance hall, and there he was, snarling, waiting for me, figured. I went in, very cautiously. I had hamburgers, you remember, and I opened the bag, and I took out the burgers, and I put him 12 feet from about where he's snarling at me. Like so. Dog, he snarled. Stop snarling. Sniff. Moved slowly, then faster toward me, then he stopped. He looked at me. I looked at him and I said, I'm smiling, but tentatively, you understand? And he's sniffing some more. And then he tore into them like that. It was as if he had never eaten anything in his life before except like garbage, which might have very well been the truth. I don't think the landlady eats anything but garbage. But he ate all the hamburgers almost all at once, making sounds in his throat like a woman. And then when he finished all the meat, the hamburgers, and tried to eat the paper too, he sat down and smiled. I think he smiled. I know cats do. It was a very gratifying few moments. And then, bam! He snarled and went for me. But he didn't get this time either, so I got upstairs, and I started to think about the dog again. To be truthful, I was offended. And I was damn mad too. There were 6 perfectly good hamburgers with not enough pork in them to make it disgusting. I was offended. But this dog had amounted to an antipathy towards me. And I wondered if I might have overcome this antipathy. And I tried it for 5 more days. But it was always the same. Snarl, stare, snare, gobble, stare, smile, snarl, bang! So by this time, Columbus Avenue was strewn with hamburger rolls, and I was less offended than disgusted, so I decided to kill the dog. Don't be so alarmed here. I didn't succeed. The day I tried to kill the dog, I bought only 1 hamburger, and what I thought was a murderous portion of rat poison. When I bought the burger, I asked the man not to bother with the rolls. All I wanted was the meat. And I expected some reaction from him, like, we don't sell no hamburgers, not no rolls. Or, what do you want to do, eat it out of your hands? But no, he smiled benignly and said, I'd like for you, pussycat. I wanted to say no, not really. Part of the plan to murder a dog animal, but you can't say a dog animal without something funny. So I said a little too loud and too formally and prayed, yes, oh my God, I said yes! People will dumb. What always happens when I try to simplify things. People were gone. But that's neither here nor there. So on my way back, I netted the hamburger in between my hands with the rat poison, right? And at this point, I'm feeling as much sadness as disgust. I opened the door to the entrance hall, and there the monster was, waiting to take the offering and jump me. Poor bastard! He never learned that the moment he took to smile, and before he went for me, it gave me enough time to get out of range. See, so I put the poison patty down, and I moved towards the stairs, and I watched. Poor monster. Gobbled down the food as usual, and then he smiled, which made me almost sick. And then, bam, he went for me again, but he didn't get me this time as usual. I got upstairs as usual, and he didn't get me this time as usual.
And it came to pass that the beast was then cleared.
I know this because he no longer attended to me. And because the landlady had sobered up. She stopped me in the hall the very same evening of the attempted murder and confided the information that God had struck her poor puppy dog down with a surely fatal blow. She had forgotten her beloved lust. Her eyes were wide open for the very first time. It looked like the dog's eyes. And she implored and snivelled and asked me to pray for the animal.
I wanted to say to her, Madam, I have myself to pray for. The Puerto Rican family, Mother Queen, the woman that I lived in closed doors and cries all the time, the people that live in all the rooming houses everywhere, and besides that, I do not understand how to pray. But to simplify things, I told her I would pray. And she looked up. And she told me that I was a liar, that I probably wanted the dog to die. I told her, and there is so much truth here, Peter, I didn't want the dog to die. Not because I poisoned him. I must tell you, I'm afraid, I wanted the dog to live, so that I could see what our new relationship might come to. Please, Peter, understand. This is important. You have to believe me. This sort of stuff is important. We have to know the effect of our actions.